Hello viewers, welcome to this video lecture. In this video lecture, we are discuss our handwritten notes on traffic. And in this notes, we are going to discuss our power performance of vehicles. This topic is important to determine vehicle running cost and the geometric design elements like grades. Means if you are able to understand how much power you need to move your vehicle on any gradient. Inside this, the first point is the resistance to motion of a vehicle. PP is the stand for the power which is sufficient to overcome all resistance to motion at the desired speed and to accelerate at any desired rate to the desired speed. Means PP is the power generated by a vehicle which is sufficient to cope up these resistance generate due to motion of vehicle, and we will discuss about these resistance. The first one is rolling resistance defined by PF. When the vehicle is in motion, there is a friction between tire of a vehicle and pavement. To counter this friction force, we need to generate power which is defined by PF. The second power resistance is air resistance, which is denoted by PA. Third is grade resistance, denoted by PI. Inertia force during acceleration and deceleration, denoted by PJ. And transmission losses. Let's discuss one by one. This figure is a complete about the all resistance, and we will discuss this figure after the completion of these 5 points. So rolling resistance occur due to 2 main points. The first one said irregularities and roughness of road surface cause deformation of tire. Means this is your pavement surface which is have some roughness coefficient. This roughness coefficient is useful for stopping side distance. So this roughness of road surface cause deformation of tire. Suppose this is your ideal case, but due to some undulation in this surface, the tire goes deformation. So the deformed tire will provide you more friction because the contact area between the tire and the pavement is large as compared to your ideal case. Hence there is a rolling resistance produced. The second point for rolling resistance is surface itself undergo deformation due to heavy loading. Due to heavy loading, the surface, suppose this is your ideal surface, but due to some heavy loading like 20 tons, this surface will go in this form. This deformation also causes rolling resistance. These 2 points are hindered for rolling motion of the wheels. So the rolling resistance is caused by surface type and given in table by Indian studies. As we already discussed that the rolling resistance depend on the surface roughness, and the surface roughness is depend on the surface type. So here in first column this is a type of surface, and in the second column there is a rolling resistance coefficient. And the formula for rolling resistance is given by weight of a vehicle to the coefficient of rolling resistance. This weight can be further divided into mass into gravitation, but this force is only valid up to 0 to 50 kmph speed. As the speed increases above than 50 kmph, we add 10% of higher speed than 50 kmph into the rolling coefficient of 50 kmph. Suppose this rolling coefficient is your 0.1 up to 50 kmph, but your speed of vehicle is moving with 80 kmph. So what we will do, up to 50, this is for up to 50, but for 80 kmph what we will do, F50 plus 10% of velocity exceeding more than the 50 kmph, which is 80 minus 50, and this will be equal to like F50 plus 10% of 30 kmph. So this formula is given by in this form. This is for any velocity which is up to 50 kmph, and this is given here 80 kmph. We can also understand by this figure. Suppose this is a block having a weight W and this is resting on a surface. As you know that the block surface and the surface of road is different, hence there is a friction. This friction occur only on the bottom surface area, which is contact to the surface. If you are moving this block in this direction, the friction force occur in opposite direction, and this friction force is called rolling resistance, which is given by multiplication of weight of the block to the friction coefficient of this surface. Now in the second figure I am trying to eliminate this rolling resistance. So how will I perform this experiment? I put this block and tied this block with a rod which is fixed support. Now this block doesn't contact with the surface, and the air exists between the block and the surface. Now if I provide a force in this direction, there is no friction force in this direction. Hence the rolling resistance caused by this friction is negligible or equal to 0, although there is a friction due to air and the surface of this bottom side, but this friction produced by air is very small, hence we are saying that it tends to negligible. In this case we can say that there is a no friction coefficient. Now we are moving to our second point, which is air resistance. When a vehicle is in motion, air resists it in the following ways. There are 4 types of steps by which the air resists your moving vehicles. The first one is density of air. Density of air act as a pressure in front side of vehicle when vehicle is in motion. As the density of air is higher, the pressure will be higher. For this we are moving to this diagram. This is our vehicle moving in this directions. The front portion will be act as an impact of this air, and this pressure of air is depend on the density of air. I draw this diagram in vertical plane. So this is your z-axis, this is your z-axis, and this is your longitudinal axis, or the longitudinal axis is always x-axis. In the next point, friction of air against the side of the vehicle body caused resistance. For this we are moving to this figure. This is plane view, or you can say plan view. This is in horizontal plane, that's why the vehicle is moving in this direction. That's why I provided x-axis in this direction. X-axis is longitudinal direction, where y-axis is lateral directions, or we can say that our road is like this. This is the width of your road. Remember that width of road is always find in y direction, where length of road always find in x direction. So in the second step, it is saying that the side of the vehicle will be affected by the neighboring air, and this neighboring air on the both sides will produce resistance to motion. The third point said that the eddies of the air stream behind the vehicle, under the body, behind the vehicle, under the body, and around the wheel cause power losses. So eddies generate behind the body. Okay, so this is like that. This portion is known as wake, and in this portion there is a pressure which is negative pressure. Here is a positive, here is a negative. Due to this pressure difference, a force is acted which against the motion. So this is behind the vehicle. Now what about the tire? Due to motion of tire, again there is a resistance in this direction, and behind the vehicle again there is a resistance. And the last point said that the flow of air through the vehicle for ventilating and cooling cause resistance to motion. Okay, so these are the four types by which air resists a vehicle which is in motion, and this is given by Dr. L.R. Cardielli and mentioned in IRC 1982. The force due to this air resistance, or the power due to this air resistance, is equal to CA multiplied by area multiplied by V square, where CA is the coefficient of resistance, A is equal to projected area in meter square on a plane at right angle to the direction of motion. So this is your direction of motion. So this plane is 90 degree to the direction of motion. So on this plane the air is acted, frontal air is acted. So basically this is that area. V is the velocity of vehicle given in meter per second, and PA is the air resistance in Newton. With the help of this table, we can find our frontal area of vehicle and coefficient of resistance of vehicle. This is based on the type of vehicle. So we have some vehicle classification like Ambassador car, Premier Padmini car, Jeep, Tata truck, Ashok truck, Maruti car. So basis on the type of vehicle, we have different air resistance coefficient and also frontal area in meter square. The third is grade resistance. An additional work is needed to move up a vehicle on an inclined section to maintain the same speed as in plane stretch. This additional work is equal to potential work to lift the vehicle to the height of inclination. In the simple word, let's take an example. Suppose this is your initial position 0 and this is your middle position A and the upper position is B. This is the block which is weighted W. This is moving in this direction. The initial velocity of this block is 0 meter per second. Now you provide a force which increase this velocity to 10 meter per second square. To maintain this velocity 10 meter per second up to the height A, up to the height H, which is the height between A to B point, you need to do some work done. This work done is known as potential energy, and the potential energy formula is mgh, where mg is your weight of block and h is your height. So this is the all about. In this case, this is the point A. From A point you are lifting your vehicle to B point, and this is the I, which is your gradient indications. So this I can be in percentage form. If this I is in percentage form, then it is written as 1 upon 100, or we can say that 1 in 100. It means this height is 1 and the horizontal distance is 100. So basically we are only interested to the height portion. That's why we put potential energy formula in this terms, and with the help of this we provide mgh plus indication for inclination gradient and minus indication for declination gradient. So this formula is also clear to you. Now move to the next point, which is inertia force during acceleration and deceleration. Suppose this is your horizontal surface and this is your car moving in this directions with a velocity 10 meter per second. Now if you want to overtake slower vehicle, you need to increase your velocity. Now your velocity increase to 20 meter per second. So in this section, A to B section, what you are providing your acceleration power to your vehicle so that it increase your velocity from 10 meter per second to 20 meter per second. So in this section you provide an extra effort. This extra effort in terms of work done is denoted by Pi, and this Pi is known as inertia force. So this is the written form I already discussed. Please go through these lines. So this is J. So this Pj is denoted by mass into acceleration, where acceleration is dv by dt. In this case, suppose at ta is 0 and time at b is 2 seconds. So your acceleration is 20 minus 10. This is your dv upon dt will be 2 second minus 0 second, and this is your dt. So acceleration and the mass of this vehicle. The mass of this vehicle can be taken from this table on the basis of type of vehicle. So again, plus sign for acceleration and minus sign for deceleration. The last one is transmission losses. Losses in power occur to the mode of power transmission, like clutch or automatic fluid coupling, from the engine to the gear system and in the gear system itself. It's saying that suppose this is your piston in which mixture of air and petrol is gone and ignition is occur inside this cylinder. There is a piston and this piston is connected to a coupling to a mechanism which convert the horizontal motion into a circular rotation. So the power generated inside this piston is P initial, which is the maximum. The power generated inside the piston is the maximum, so this is P max. But as it transmits to the rotation motion, then this rotation motion is related to your gearbox. So the gearbox, then it transmits to your wheel. So the power which is reached to the wheel is always less than the P max, and this power loss is known as power transmission loss. So the transmission loss in this case will be P max minus P2. Generally, this transmission loss is depend on the type of engine and type of transmission system, but we take that 25% for truck and 10 to 15% for other vehicles, and this is denoted by P small p. About the gearbox, there are two types of gear. First one is low gear, in which the speed will be low but they are produce higher power, and at higher gear, when the gear ratio is 1:1, this is the ratio of gear teeth. At higher gear, speed is high and the power is, as compared to lower gear, will be less. So this is all about today's lecture. In this lecture, we are only discuss about the resistance to motion of a vehicle. In another lecture, we will go to the further topics. Thank you for your precious time.